Over the past few years, this Chinese megacity has taken over social media. People call it the world's largest city, a cyberpunk metropolis. But what happens when you step away from the viral angles? I came here curious, not just to see the spectacle, but to see what everyday life feels like. And what I found was something slightly different. From above, Chongqing looks almost unreal. And at night, these busy shopping streets can feel almost surreal. But standing on the ground, it felt different. In the daylight, it was staircases and small shops. This place is called Hongyadong. At night, it lights up and adds a dazzling touch to the city. During daytime, though, it's pretty empty. Still, shops and restaurants stay open. Outside, you see people speaking into the phone while standing in front of tripods. Probably travel agencies or content creators. Well, one thing's for sure, the city is absolutely packed with tourists. This is Jiefang the People's Liberation Monument. Where there are tourists, you find photographers trying to catch their next customer.
小伙子，给我围着，围着，旅游的吧？好，明天我就找你们。
明天去哪里玩嘛？一天游啊？哦，明天去这个一天游是的。
行。
And travel agencies, of course. Chongqing is clearly a favored destination for tourists right now. That said, not everything is on the bright side.
I 做了41年，这里做了接近8年。 在那个来福士不是拆迁了吗？修来福士的时候搬上来了。现在钱不好挣了。我们以前从早上6点开门，要忙到晚上，一直好多人。今年这大环境特别不好。你猜多少？这两杯面多少钱？猜一下。就从这里到这里。1个月吗？1个月2000。零头都不够。 1个月啊，33500，一个月。不是旅游的地方也好贵啊，小区的门面也是1、2万，还一点点大。
So this is Raffles, where that lady's restaurant used to be. Simply put, it's a massive shopping mall. It's relatively new, opened around 2019, but it has already become a city landmark. Outside, there's a huge open plaza with a great view of the Yangtze River. The view is beautiful, but figuring out how to get up there wasn't so obvious. I was a bit confused at first because the entrance wasn't that conspicuous. Up top, it feels slightly futuristic. And there's even a viewing deck with a glass floor. Nice. But anyway, I have come here to enjoy Chongqing's bustling streets. There are several attractive bun shops, but I chose this one.
吃吃饭呢？哦，你好乖哟。这个好不好玩啦？啊！
这现在包的是什么？
鸳鸯。
鸳鸯。哦。
There's a queue, and then besides, they need to, steam the buns. So it took like 10 to 20 minutes. But finally, I got this Yuanyang bao. Nice, looks nice. I got 4, and it cost me 10 yuan, 10 RMB. いただきます。So good.
桃片，重庆的火
糖片。
哎，桃片糕好吃。
小便糕。
哎，矮一点，你看嘛，哎，还一点了，卖完了，还一点点了。好吃的。18块5，18块钱，好吃的，老乡。
I'm not sure what this is. He said like 汤片, 头片, I don't know. It's kind of hit us crazy because it should be like Kuixing there. It should be, car-free zone, but it looks like it's not the case. It's actually very good. I like it, yeah. So this is Chongqing, so lively and so busy. It's Saturday night, so it should be very busy, maybe. So it's absolutely crazy place with so many people and so many shops, restaurants. Well, I booked 3 nights, but maybe that's not enough. You need far more days to explore this city fully. So this was my first day, and I had snacks, but was still hungry. Besides, how does it look outside of busy streets? In an ordinary place such as here, where people gather to play cards,是烫要烫到，要烫到， I had Wanza noodles, a Chongqing specialty made with yellow peas and minced pork. A typical reasonable noodles which cost you only 10 to 20 RMB. Because the city center is on a plateau, you often have to climb stairs, get up or go down. It's said that Shibati, which means 18 stairs, was named after an old well that was exactly 18 steps away from the surrounding houses. In 1891, when Chongqing opened its port, the population exploded and Shibati grew quickly. It was a key connection between the upper and lower parts of the city. Now the area has been renovated and open to the public. At night, it's beautifully lit with lanterns and draws lots of visitors. Once you're down below, you look up and see the towering buildings where you came from. There are many ways to get to the upper part of the city, but I stumbled upon this staircase. The rent for shops seem to be quite high, but luckily for travelers, the hotel price here is reasonable, 879 for 3 nights.
Oh my god. Wow. That's so high.
Up top, though, you don't really notice the city's geography anymore. Your view is blocked by skyscrapers. You'd never guess how high up you actually are compared to the river. One place that really shows you is Kuixing.
It's crazy because you came from there. At that entrance, there's only very short, not very, but the only short staircase. So it looks like there's no, up and down. But see, once you came here, you see this big abyss.
If you're afraid of heights like me, it's terrifying. During my stay, the weather was not ideal. It reminded me of my visiting the city Luohan, a city located by the Yangtze River. In the same manner, humid and cloudy. In the middle of Chongqing's glass towers stands Luohan Temple. First built during the Northern Song Dynasty, nearly 1,000 years ago. Stone carvings line the entrance. The surface is worn smooth by time. In the courtyard, people light incense and candles. Shops sell rosaries and small Buddhist charms. Here we are at Huguang Gate Hall, a historic complex first built in 1759 during the Qing dynasty. Once a gathering place for merchants and migrants from Hubei, Hunan, Guangdong, and Guangxi. It served as a hub for business, social life, and cultural exchange. Today, it's a museum of traditional architecture with intricately carved halls and courtyards that whisper stories of Chongqing's past.
到人生到30岁到50岁之间，是一个辉煌期。那会儿钱可能上千万，但现在你达不到。
This is Laojundong, a Daojiao temple. Along the stairs leading up to it, fortune tellers sit and wait for customers. Just beneath a sign that reads "No fortune telling."
首先，人这个命好不如相好，相好不如运气好。
When I sat down, he didn't ask my name. He studied my face.
像不露骨也不露肉，方方正正的。这种面相称为富贵型的。要徐家印就是标准的这样的面相，但是徐家印太把钱弄到国外去了，听到没有？他把钱。
He soon shifted from reading my features to talking about how people make money in China.
人民共和国这个地盘上搞生意，你可以，你都做失败了，你可以申请破产。
I could hear how deeply he cared about his country.
但是你把2000个亿弄到国外去了，这也一项就不行了。比如2000个亿、100个亿都追究你了，听到没有？所以这个邓小平给江泽民讲过的嘛，要求其所在，不求其所有嘛。这就是中国改革开放引进资金的一个基本国策。
Then he returned to my face.
一流聪明，脑子很好，但是就因为你这个根基薄弱， 和你这个恩头这圆润度不到位，眼睛是100分，眼睛长得是非常有神。
He graded my features as if they were exam scores.
80分
80分。
耳朵是80分，所以说你清华、北大、南开、复旦你考不上了，你上不了这么高。
Not enough, he said, for China's most elite universities.
中等大学生，师傅说的对不对？学员说的对不对？哎，是不是就没有达到那个一流嘛？
我不知道啊。
这你上的什么学啊？大学？
我是外国人啊。
你是国外人，哪一个
对啊
哪一个国家的？
我是日本人。
你是日本握个手。
对呀。
你听，日本的科学技术发展，全世界是第一一流。日本造了8个，听，8台
好。
高压电子显微镜，全是日本生产的。日本有4个，中国买了1个。我们每天晚上。
When I told him I was Japanese, the tone changed. He spoke with unexpected admiration for Japanese technology. We talked for quite a while about fortune telling, about his son's business trip to Japan, but there was still something we hadn't discussed.
给师傅少吹口气，好，给师傅发个钱，表示个诚信。诚心就完了，心要诚嘛。
I didn't know what the fair price was for this kind of encounter.
我是国外人吧，我这个
那就
没有。
发个200块钱。
200
啊，在
这太多了。
我们西安都是2000一天的啊，我西安。
200多太多了，200多太多了吧？
不多，真的不，我一会儿让你看一下。我一会儿让你看别人给多少。
别，一般多少钱呢？
那就是看最低就是120、130
啊
，120，哎，那你就发个138，138。
138
啊，一路发。
138
啊，138一路发嘛。你看这是12月8号，你看我们在西安开一个多少钱？
He showed me messages from others who had paid him some hundreds, some thousands.
我知道。
是不是？我来这儿之前嘛，对不对？
好，
是不是？
好嘞。
来，握个手。
你是西安的？
对。
为什么来到这里？
哎，
为什么来？
He told me he was from Xi'an and had spent much of his life traveling.
新疆、西藏全国都去了。
全部都去了吗？
中国走完了。
你这个算命是怎么学的？怎么学习算命？
When I asked how he learned fortune telling, his answer was more philosophical than practical.
八字里面有空王的，我2个空王，就是官是空的，当官当不了时间长，财是空的，就是有不了过大的财，听到没有？再一个有花盖太极，就叫空门，有这个都可以喜欢这个，但是有在八字没有子女星，没有夫妻，没有妻子，那全空了，那就出家了，在咱们在我们这个地方叫出家了，我在当兵，我17岁高中毕业，18岁到北京当兵了。我就是那个中央警卫团的。
At 18, he joined the army in Beijing, the Central Guard Regiment, the unit responsible for protecting national leaders. And despite 8 characters, he later got married and had kids.
快70了，马上70了。
And in the 1990s, he once had a Japanese friend in Shanghai.
好协会。
好嘞。
他们就是发那个7个大袋子发书的嘛。他们的轮船就在那个黄浦江边。让我到日本跟他去玩去了嘛。
好。
哎，我那会儿正跟人家做生意走不了，我差一点去了没去。来也平安，去也吉祥。好，慢走啊。
好，谢谢，拜拜。
拜拜。
溜着去，你还没要溜到你们那样那样的，哎呀，我遭求助。我说算了3天我就赶快跳了，我算3天我就用500多块钱。
This small place sits on the road to Luohan. The owner is 80 years old and still running the shop herself. She says Douhua, a soft tofu pudding usually served with chili oil, soy sauce, and other savory toppings.
重庆的棒棒菌在全国都很出名的。
棒棒菌，
真的，我不说假话。重庆棒棒菌在全国很出名，特别是97年、87年、97年，都比较出名的。那些每个人都喜欢吃重庆的这个豆花，豆花一个是营养好，二一个它又低薄，价格又便宜。今天下雨呀。
对啊，今天下雨啊。
今天下雨。
对啊。
She told me that in the 80s, 90s, Many Banbanjun used to stop here for wool. The porters would carry goods through Chongqing's steep streets using bamboo poles. She also mentioned that China Central Television once featured her restaurant.
好的。
不吃米饭是6元，吃米饭是7元。云阳最好，这个是高蛋白，云阳好得很。
高蛋白啊。
像我们70、80岁没有高血压，没有高血脂，没有高血糖，都没有。
And she proudly repeats how nutritious her Douhua is, saying it can even help prevent health problems like high blood pressure. Just outside the shop, locals chat in the rhythmic Chongqing dialect, while strips of mandarin peel hang overhead to dry.
北方那些学年去多厚？
肯定的，肯定的。
还是西南地区云贵。
好。
祝你一切顺利，万事如意。
好。
慢走，慢走。
好好。
慢走。
谢谢，谢谢。
拜拜。
拜拜。
好，拜拜。
These beans and Tijuana, and I ordered the half portion. Let's talk about food. This restaurant is known for Lao Ma Tihua braised pork trotter, a famous dish from Chengdu. Legend said that back in the late Qing or early Republican era, a woman in Chengdu sold pork trotter using her own secret recipe. Over time, it became a local favorite. And another dish is Minggu Bawan too. It's rabbit dish. They also serve Mingguo, overlord rabbit, a fiery Sichuan-style rabbit dish packed with chilies and Sichuan pepper. And like many places today, they give you a free dessert if you leave a review on a food app. I took a bus to this area. This is an air-raid shelter tea house. Tea is self-service. Pick a cup you like.
推荐呐。
嗯哼。
推荐的话，
你喜欢什么口味？你喜欢什么？
我喜欢的跟你喜欢不一样呢。
对呀，我知道我。因为我是
山楂了，要不来个锅巴嘛？
锅巴，好的，好的，好的，好的。
锅巴还可以。
嗯。
Grab some snacks and voila! A perfect afternoon tea set. I chose Lao Yun Cha, Eagle tea, a local tea, and 4 snacks in a traditional divided container. This used to be a real air raid shelter, built during the war when China, under the Kuomintang, was fighting Japan. Now it's been turned into a tea house, but there's also a mahjong area and a hot pot restaurant. The shelter is huge. With many tunnels, so not every part is commercially used. In Chongqing, hot pot is everywhere. Literally everywhere. Originally, I planned to go through my whole trip without having hot pot. I was traveling alone, and honestly, I'm not particularly fond of it anyway. But then, this random encounter changed my mind.
Oh my god, I forgot to turn on the mic with that while I was shooting that guy, like moving the tray of something for war hot pot. And well, but the conversation went like this, I asked him, it is for war hot pot, and then he said yes. And then he asked me, where are you from? And I said I'm from Japan. And after that, he said after that he said, well, you can speak Chinese very well. And after that he said Chongqing hot pot is very good. So you like it. And I asked him which restaurant, and then he said everywhere.
Okay to eat.
我生意，我不跟你干。他那个没得流量是弄啥子？老板，那没流量是。没得流量的，他那弄啥东西？啊，没流量的好。说重庆的生意。我说的意思是坚持，我是想把这个结果发展的。他那个没得流量是弄啥东西？我当过我就这么说的。我说你可以。
So nice, so nice. Tastes so good.
As soon as I sat down, I was asked which Huguang, the soup base, I wanted. There were only two choices, red or red and white. Those weren't the exact terms they used though. They asked if I could handle spicy food, and if so, they recommended me the red spicy base, which you can get in Huguang style, a 9-grid divider in one pot. The total came to 180 yuan. As you can see, I ordered way too much. If you come with someone else, it's a reasonable price.
吃多少钱了？
都是食用粉，可以混合，手工做的要吃味道，吃卫生。
这个煮在里面煮久一点。
At another table, someone ordered dessert, And the restaurant actually invited a street vendor to come in and serve them. And he naturally came to my table too. Cats were wandering in and out constantly. At first, I thought they all belonged to the restaurant.
这个上面应该还有。
上面应该还有。
我们家的梨花。
不是你们家的吗？
这个不是，我们那个猫很大耶，它很肥。
我以为是你们家的猫。
这是野猫，它得吃我们家的粮食的。你是哪里的？
我是外国人。
韩国的。
不是日本。
那不像啊，怎么？
像。
日本的。
对呀。第一次来重庆玩。